Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to come back into NASCAR in a new and exciting way. He will act as crew chief, at least temporarily. Earnhardt will serve as crew chief for Connor Zilisch's number 88 car at Pocono this weekend, JR Motorsports announced on Wednesday. Marty Lindley, Zilisch's usual crew chief, was suspended for a race for a violation in Nashville a few weeks ago. NASCAR then announced that the number 88 team had been penalized for having an unfastened lug nut. The crew chose to delay the suspension to Pocono rather than serving it in Mexico City. Zilisch is having a terrific season, having already qualified for the playoffs with a win at COTA. He is presently ranked 5th in the point standings, with 4 top 5 finishes and 6 top 10 results. He has placed in the top 5 in each of his last 3 races. Zilisch finished 2nd in Charlotte and Nashville before placing 5th in Mexico City this week. Needless to say, having a capable crew chief will be critical, so it's certainly surprising to see Earnhardt in the lead for a critical race at Pocono. So, while Zilisch's customary crew chief, Marty Lindley, is serving a 1-race penalty for loose lug nuts discovered after the Nashville Xfinity race, Dale Jr. takes over. He was also fined $10,000, the standard punishment for such a transgression. On Saturday, the number 88 JRM Chevrolet will be led by team co-owner and NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Earnhardt Jr. from the pit box. Earnhardt has worn several hats in his NASCAR career, including driver, owner, and broadcaster, but this is a new one as he takes on the position of crew chief at Pocono. According to Racing Reference, this is the first time an Earnhardt family member has served as crew chief in any of the sport's 3 national levels. Dale Jr. is the son of NASCAR great and 7-time champion Dale Earnhardt. Dale Jr. won 26 races, including 2 Daytona 500s, over his nearly 20-year career before being inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2021. He also has extensive experience in the Xfinity Series, having won the NXS twice and having 24 career wins. Zilisch, an 18-year-old emerging star in the sport who is now under contract with Trackhouse, has already qualified for the playoffs after winning at COTA earlier this season. However, things aren't easy for the young man, who has recently been involved in some problems. Connor Zilisch and Ty Gibbs are 2 of the most talented young drivers in NASCAR. However, they became entangled in each other's web a few times during this past weekend's Xfinity Series race in Mexico City. From the first lap to the 3rd stage, Zilisch and Gibbs were in close proximity. Gibbs did not allow Zilisch any grace, battling him as aggressively as possible during the first lap, while the JR Motorsports driver returned the favor closer to the finish, creating a crash in the 3rd stage that ended both of their chances of winning. As the dust cleared on Daniel Suarez's victory in Mexico City, Zilisch fired a few shots at Gibbs. He stated he was purposefully over-aggressive with him throughout the afternoon, which began on lap 1. "It was just Ty. He was racing me really hard the whole time," Zilisch stated via front stretch. "I was easy on him the first lap, let him have it in the first few corners, and took the lead. Then I was a little faster than him. So, when I cleared him down into 1, I went in a little deep and washed out. I don't think he liked how I did that. He got mad at me and shipped me. So no, I don't think it was just the nature of the corners. I think that was pretty intentional." Dale Jr. will have to keep his fury under control this weekend. In addition to taking over as crew chief, Dale Jr. commented on recent races. So NASCAR's trip to Mexico City was widely seen as successful. Dale Jr. had a say, especially because there were several concerns prior to race weekend. NASCAR organized a charter service for the entire industry to go from the Charlotte area to Mexico City. One of the planes, which happened to be carrying Cup Series race winner Shane Van Gisbergen, encountered a problem on takeoff. As a result of the consequent travel delays, NASCAR had to change the weekend practice schedule. Dale Earnhardt Jr. traveled to Mexico City to call the race on Prime Video. Earnhardt discussed the travel concerns on the Dale Jr. download, referring to the airline mishap as F***kicking touch and go. In addition, Earnhardt's flight was delayed because his plane was stopped in Singapore for maintenance. "The charters were not up to par. Not up to standard, I guess, for what you would expect," Earnhardt said. "They had some issues. Our plane was stuck in Singapore maintenance. Why is the plane that I'm going to be on with 300 people in Singapore? What is this charter company that we're dealing with? You had a plane have a mechanical issue that I heard was really F***king touch and go. The plane that blew the engine was pulling the nose up to take off when that happened, and they barely got that thing stopped and safely got everybody off. it was really close to being really severe. Sunday marked the first Cup Points race staged outside the United States since 1958. You knew there would be problems, but you can't cut corners on some things, Earnhardt stated. Ben Kennedy, NASCAR's executive vice president, chief venue, and racing innovation officer, acknowledged that the logistical planning wasn't perfect. You can't cut corners with stuff like that, Earnhardt said. Listen, I would not know where to start to try to put something together for an entire industry going somewhere. I like the thought of everyone flying together, but we've got to be willing to invest. I don't want to insult NASCAR. I know they busted their ass to make this happen. It was a successful race weekend. We had an awesome experience on Saturday with Daniel Suarez winning and then a great race on Sunday. Everybody got home safe. Did they learn some lessons? Absolutely. Should they do it a little different next time? Absolutely. Will they? I think so. They learned a lot. As the green flag looms over Pocono, all eyes now shift to the 88 pit box. Not just because of the young talent behind the wheel, but because of the legend now holding the headset. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s surprise step into the crew chief role might have started as a stopgap solution, but it's quickly becoming one of the most intriguing storylines in NASCAR this season. There's history in the making here. A Hall of Famer returning not just as a figurehead, but as a hands-on leader in the trenches, guiding one of the sport's most promising young stars through a pivotal race. It's a full-circle moment. Dale Jr., who once piloted the 88 himself and built JR Motorsports from the ground up, is now shaping the next generation from atop the box, not behind the wheel. For Connor Zilisch, it's an opportunity. He's got the speed, the aggression, and the playoff spot already locked in. But Pocono isn't just about points. It's about proving composure. It's about showing that after the chaos in Mexico City, he can channel his fire into focus. Having Dale Jr. in his ear could be the difference between another podium and another learning experience. But let's not kid ourselves. This is just as much about Jr. as it is about Zilisch. It's not often you get to witness a NASCAR legend trade the mic and camera for a stopwatch and strategy sheet. His recent criticisms of the Mexico City travel debacle reminded everyone that he's still deeply passionate, not just about racing, but about how the sport is run. Now, he gets to back up his words with action, shoulder to shoulder with his team. So the question isn't just how Zilisch will perform at Pocono, it's what Dale Earnhardt Jr., the crew chief, looks like in action. Will this be a one-time stunt, or the start of something more? And how will the rest of the garage react if this ends in victory lane? No matter what happens, Saturday will be about more than just lap times and pit stops. It will be about legacy, mentorship, and a living bridge between NASCAR's past and future, roaring to life in the most unexpected of ways.